with this intuitive channeling for the week ahead during the week of the 17th November 2025. We are approaching a new moon in Scorpio that will actually be in Scorpio across both Vedic, sidereal, and tropical astrology, which I find to be very interesting. It's a very interesting occurrence around Scorpio season. Excuse me. I'm doing this very early in the morning with a lot of inspiration to carry it forth. So my energy will be a little bit pensive, will be a little bit low and quiet because I'm trying to keep a regular energy about the way that I deliver the message. It's also a very cold morning for me where I'm at right now during a season that should have been warm. So anyway, so I'm feeling into a really lush, much more relaxing week than what we've been experiencing for the past month and a bit, more or less, but more intensely the past 2-3 weeks. I believe that we were doing the whole thing that our community talks about via ascension work or walking through a portal, whatever. Something happened just now. And I think that what is to come will be the light version, integration of the work we just did. So I believe we have just processed or maybe still finishing the tail end of a lot of dark shadow work. Heavy stuff about feeling adequately nurtured, questioning whether or not you are loved or how much you can love and or how much you can love as a result, giving and receiving the act of that, but from the eyes of the child you used to be and not just who you are now, considering who you are now, not just in the year. I know we've all been doing the annual reflections, considering it's that time of the year, but I think a lot of us have also been reflecting on our lives, our whole lives, regardless of where we are in life, regardless of our age. I think we've all been very existential. And I think that there's been a lot of really good medicine that came out of that in terms of helping us understand how much more we want to enjoy life. Whether or not we want to enjoy life at all, I know that there's a wave of people, and I think that there will be. I've been mentioning this a lot, and I think a lot of other spiritual intuitives have been channeling the same message of how throughout from now on, there'll be a lot of pressure on the individual's sense of victimhood and like the way that affects how you understand that you are deserving of being of living, that you are deserving of certain luxuries. Like it's very nuanced. It's a lot more nuanced than what I can word in the short space of time. But a lot of the way that our lives are set up is relative to what we think we deserve, and what we not just think, not just on a conscious level, even what we subconsciously process we deserve. A lot of the way that we live and how our life plays out is relative to that, to that work within, and to that sense of shame and fear. Whatever makes you contract and feel small, the blockages, the internal blockages, they will start to affect our lives and the way things come manifest very much. They always have, but because of how the energy grid of the earth is changing and the way that our energies influence the world and each other and all of that, it's going to start being more prevalent. It's going to start taking more precedence in the way that things play out in our lives, our internal world versus our external world. Very important. That's going to be a consistent messaging. External world versus internal, how the internal influences the external, how real life is actually happening inside. Also, a very nuanced thing. There's so much more to that, but that's like the skeleton of it. And so, with the testing, sorry, now I've lost my train of thought, but via the frequency of feeling with whether or not you are deserving. There's a bulk of us that have learned about what we are deserving of and how there's a lot more possible for us. Hopefully you've learned that. Please, like, really embody and integrate that in particular, that this living experience is infinite enough to accommodate absolutely anything you desire. You just have to desire it. Like, really, please don't give into like miserable rhetorics about anything to do with fear or constriction. Like, believe in God. It's really time. And I think, yeah, so relative to that frequency of deservingness, I think that what's coming this week is the chance to enjoy that part, where we've been processing now. Let's say, for example, a lack of love or a lack of the things that we want, or a lack of an awareness of what we want. Now we will be experiencing, we just experienced glass half empty. We are about to experience glass half full. And then with that, with the chance to experience glass half full, we will be able to bring about a chance to fill our glasses up. It's going to be quick momentum. I'm feeling into like, if we can keep going, keep the momentum that we have just built, because I think that if with the correct integration of what we've been through just now, with this intense, not just 2 weeks and few month and a bit, the whole year, if we can integrate bravely what we've experienced, then this time moving forward, and into December, which will be a rocking season. Such season is going to be rocking. I'm very excited for many people. It's going to do this, then it's going to do this, then it's going to do this, and it's going to sometime next year. Next year is going to be a very exciting year for so many people. Very exciting, super dynamic, so many like slipping into roles that you're meant to be in, so many surprising turnouts of situations that you didn't think had an end, or that like you thought you'd be stuck in and caught in round and round for long. So much relief, so much sense of relief for so many people. Just hold out. But anyway, it starts now. It starts now. This week into next, like I'm saying, it's going to start as this, and then it's going to do this, and it's going to do this. So keep your head down, stay focused. It feels like there's something, there is something that you should find. There's some method or way of healing and feeling better. It's very simple. It feels like there's something that you found or that you will find that will be very helpful for you. Rely on that thing. For me, it's movement and getting my blood to get warm. Specifically that, So exercise, but more like movement, making sure that like I don't cook or fester in any feelings of depression or whatever, which will still come up, by the way. I feel like we need to remember the continuity of this work that we've just put in now. It's not, in my acknowledging the fact that we are walking into a sense of calmer, more relaxed waters. I'm not saying that that is done, so to speak. It more feels like we got really good at dealing with that shit. So when it does come up again, because unfortunately it will, we will be so equipped that it's not going to feel like that again at all. It may even appear like that again because it feels also like we're in this really crazy system of like, if you experience karmic cycle repeats, it's not personal. Sometimes it's for that person or that, it likely feels like another person. It's for that person to experience. So just be aware of that. So anyway, we're in a very dynamic cooking pot. Cycles may come up again. You will be totally equipped with dealing with those repetitive ones. They will not feel as low. Now is the chance to notice the light and see how it grows from just you noticing it. That's very important. Gratitude lists, subliminals, affirmations, putting your actual moment to moment attention on content or music or moments, actions that make you happy. I'm never the one to encourage ignorance. I do think it's brilliant to keep up with what is happening in life as we are all affected by each other. But I think now in particular is a time to maybe do a sort of detox or energy cleanse, stay away from social media or senselessly intaking bad news or low news. I personally have rejected listening to the radio altogether because they really do just be giving you bad news. That also includes, like I'd say, content. So the way you interact with social media, very important. Maybe take a break from that. And considering this new moon and how it's so scorpionic, I think that in itself emphasizes the importance of looking after your energy if you are a Scorpio or Plutonian 8th house or 12th house, Pisces or Aquarius or Virgo. You need to be extra careful across both astrological systems that I mentioned. You need to be extra careful about looking after your energy and taking after keeping that space grounded, as I feel that those types of signs, with the way that our internal makeup is made and how sensitive we are in general, specifically towards negative thinking or chronic anxiety, we need to look after ourselves energetically and make sure that this time, because it does feel like a very big superstar moment for manifestation. I don't normally give into the new moon rhetoric of set intentions. I normally just go with the flow, but I think this one, it's a big one for intention setting. And I think that whatever whatever intention you set will come manifest within a 3-mark window. So 3 weeks, 3 months, not 3 years, I don't think. Well, it depends on how big it is. Yeah. It depends on how big it is, but you'll see. I really highly recommend it. I recommend the act of writing on a piece of paper, burning it in the fire. Something about that is beautiful right now. And working with water, as I've said before, work with all the elements, especially fire. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else I feel called to mention. I also think this is a good time to end it, though. Because also, like I said, I'm not feeling into any kind of warning signs. I feel like, well, we are in Mercury retrograde. We can't forget that. So continue being careful in the way that you would be. And as I'd mentioned before in previous readings, and intuitives, beware of how Mercury retrograde, the energy of it is going to be especially potent during this season, in my opinion, because of how it coincides with a lot of astronomical movement that's affecting us energetically and affecting the sun, which in turn will affect us. We're already being affected by what's happening. The sun is being affected, and then it's affecting us. There's a lot happening. And it really is a sensitive time for technology, for fast, rapid decisions and fast, rapid movement. Beware of that in your space and notice the remedy of responding in a slow or soft manner. You know, it feels like there's a lot of hard, quick happening right now, a lot of that. To, I guess, remedy for the internal chaos bubbling under. Beware of that too. A lot of people, again, I feel like this can't be emphasized enough, how a lot of people are really unaware of this mode of living or of this language. A lot of people behave from places within themselves that, like, where we are now, I feel who I read for and people who relate to me and who I relate to, we have very small, well, okay, it's still big, but I'll say relative to the rest of the collective, it's a very small blind spot. Other people's blind spots are huge. They still do very repetitive actions. They still get caught in extremely repetitive problems, and they don't notice how this thing drains their energy. They don't notice what the potential lesson is. They don't see how these situations reflect something that's trying to come out within them. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. They don't know this language. And so will be NPCs in a sense in the stories of people who do, who are aware and who are about, about this journey. So be aware of that, the volume of that exploding during the season, where you might find yourself in a lot of random conflicts like road rage or annoying someone at the grocery store, or having a rah-rah via social media. Feels like social media is also going to, something about its energy is going to be very captivating. And that's going to be, addictions. Okay, yes. Addictions and escapism. Beware of all of that. It within you, within others. Beware of specifically the covert addictions, the ones that are a little bit like being addicted to your problems or being addicted to getting attention, maybe being addicted to getting a certain kind of attention, being addicted to work, productive addictions that look on the outset, they look good, but are actually, it's still an escape, right? Spiritual bypassing, beware of that. And I'm getting the word accountability. Something about having a sense of accountability over your energy, your energetic field, the way you perceive things. And maybe accountability in situations that transpired possibly recently and during a time where you weren't okay. I think that especially us in the community, in our community of spiritual talk and woo-woo shit, we are so steadfast in being good, which is noble and sweet, but we cannot excuse through our journey of truth seeking and love and all of this shit. We can't excuse the parts of ourselves that are destructive. We're still destructive. We're still human. We're not perfect, and we are going to hurt people. And I think there might be a need to face situations where you have hurt people during this time. But I think that that will be very freeing, especially for people like us who I'm feeling into specifically the wound of you believing that you will not be loved if you're not good or useful or helpful, kind, and what may come will be like a freeing sense where you realize that you will be loved and forgiven anyway, even if you're mean or fucked up. Remembering that whole idea of how even fucked up people are forgiven. Hitler went to heaven. There's always someone who's going to forgive you and love you wholly and be willing to take you in, you know. The feeling of safety, emotional safety, we're always working on that. We're always working on that. And I think that's all. I didn't want this to go too long. And I did want to stop earlier. That came out. I'm glad it did. I'm really grateful for you watching and for just the simple opportunity to be able to do this. I'm so grateful for YouTube. I'm so grateful for the internet and for being alive during this age where the opportunity to create is really in our hands. We can create so much with the access that we have. Please consider that too. Consider how incredible it is to be alive in this time where things are pretty easy. The access it stretches far and wide, and we can really do anything. Like I said in the beginning of this, the possibilities are endless. Please really hold on to that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really grateful for this, grateful to be doing this work, grateful to be tuning into collective energy. I love us, I really do. And I love being alive. And I really hope that we find more of that within us this week, more of that feeling of appreciating life and being. Yeah, thank you. I will see you in the next live stream.